Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney. I am recording pre-canned videos because I've suddenly been called to New York City tomorrow, which is a nightmare for me. I want to stay where I am, but I have clients come first, right? Okay, so we have a publicly posted question from a YouTube user posted 5 hours ago by YouTube user Fiery Sailor upon the high seas. And it was posted on our question that we answered, our video that we answered August 29th of 2022, about 5 hours ago. And the question is really very simple. How long does an EEOC investigation typically last? And I would have told you 6 to 9 months for our firm before the pandemic. There's a lot going on here. Maybe it's not as simple as I said. So if you leave the EEOC alone, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission alone, they will often run cases about 2.5 to 4.5 years. I've done a lot of videos on the differences between different EEOC employees and different EEOC offices. All are not created equal. The New York City office has been impacted on many occasions by horrible events, including 9/11, water main breaks. Their entire caseload was shipped to Boston. And the Boston office, I think, just figured out they weren't really responsible for that and just issued right to sue letters on all their cases without investigating any of them. It was my outsider's perspective. I don't know that's actually what they did. It just looks like what they did. Looks like they didn't give a flying foo-foo about any of the human beings they were supposed to be helping. But that's Boston. Lovely, lovely Boston. And I'm not perpetuating the New York-Boston rivalry. I'm not a participant in that. I live in the middle of nowhere in New Hampshire. And I just travel to New York for business to help my clients. So all of this preamble goes to the fact that cases take different amounts of time depending on what employee is assigned to it within an office, what office it's in, what's going on. Cases took forever during the pandemic. Cases in offices that are impacted by horrible events take forever or are done instantly without anything being done. So big spectrum of what could happen. And the perhaps best answer here is that you would probably want to control the EEOC process, right? Once you get what you want out of the EEOC, if you're not also engaged in a state agency, depending on where you are, right? Often there's cross-filing. You're in multiple agencies at once. You may want to look at a pull letter to get your right to sue letter, right? If this is a case that you're trying to escalate to federal court, often the EEOC will do whatever it does or doesn't do. You'll have mediations, you'll have settlement processes, you'll have discussions with the opposing counsel about settling the case, and you might just come to the determination, no, I think this case should be in federal court. Well, if your client's okay with that exposure, you would contact the EEOC and you would say, hey, I'm pulling my right to sue letter. And occasionally you'll get a weird response like, no, we're going to do things. We all know you're not. You're not going to do things. No, the Justice Department has taken an interest in this case. Okay. Great. So they're going to do nothing. Or if they do something, they work in the Justice Department for a reason, right? Couldn't really cut it in the real world. So, am I being wildly dismissive of federal attorneys, federally employed attorneys? Yes. Is that fair? No. But my opinions are based on a wealth of experience. But most of the time, 99% of the time, they're just going to give you a right to sue letter because what it means is they don't have to do anything else. They don't even have to pretend to do anything else. They like that. The complete absence of effort. That's why they got into government work in the first place. And obviously I'm being facetious here, right? There are great people at the EEOC. There are great people in the Justice Department. I'm just being an asshole. Kind of who I am. And in many ways, what my clients hire me for, right? So you can control the length of your EEOC process by pulling your right to sue letter. Our average EEOC process is like 6 to 9 months. Right? I think other firms might tell you it's 4 years. Might be because they don't want to pull the right to sue letter for whatever reason. It might also be because they're waiting for the EEOC to run its full course for whatever reason. Or might just be they're in an office. They're dealing with an office in a part of the country that is more active and wants to do things on cases. That's entirely possible. I've heard that there are these proactive offices who do their job really well at the EEOC. Often don't run into them, but I hear they exist, and that's really thrilling. I'm glad they're helping people. And those offices might just be like, no, we don't want you to pull. And I can see those firms playing ball to some extent because they don't want to ruffle the feathers of the good people at the EEOC that they are actually working with, right? You don't want to hurt those relationships because those people can help your clients. So if they're like, hey, stop pulling cases, that firm's probably like, but we want to go to federal court, please. And, the EEOC people might be like, yeah, don't do that. We think we can resolve this. Leave it with us. You got a hard choice there. It is a hard choice, right? You don't want to fight with the people who process claims for your clients and can really help your clients, can push settlement, right? There's a lot of things an EEOC employee can do to help a plaintiff. And some EEOC employees really do these things, right? As I mentioned, there are incredible people in the New York City office. At least one who's truly amazing, right? Truly amazing. The OG mediator, skills to pay the bills, right? Like she is helping clients, she's helping plaintiffs, and frankly, helping defendants. She's helping employers because she's getting these cases done with good, logical deals that stop the bleeding for the employer. She's helping employers. She's helping plaintiffs get the money they're owed. She's incredible, right? Deborah Wright, so good, so talented. But, and if she's like, hey, leave the case, I'm going to leave that case. I'm going to leave it for her to mediate. And I'm going to be real happy about it. My client might say, no, I want to pull. I want to go to federal court. Well, okay, we can talk about that. But people want to sit down with a very talented mediator and talk about giving you money for 8 hours. And if it's close, she'll probably make him stay for 4 more. We might be there till midnight if she thinks it's going to help you get paid. And at some point, if people want to talk about giving you money, we ought to listen, right? So I guess the answer to your question is it depends how long an EEOC investigation usually lasts, if they conduct one at all. And that's something to keep an eye on with the EEOC. Often they're not really investigating. They're going to do, they're going to do the complaint, the position statement, the rebuttal, and they might not actually do anything else. And the case might sit for years. So it's valuable to make sure your attorney is in communication with the people at the EEOC and has an idea, hey, what's going on with the case? Why is it we haven't heard anything in 4 months? What's going on, right? But the quick answer is with our firm, generally we see it take about 6 to 9 months. I hope this is helpful, Mr. Saylor, and Mr. or Miss Saylor. I have no idea. I guess Mr. Saylor, judging from the username. Wish you the best. If this was helpful, like and subscribe. Helps me to help more people just like you.